They see their entire family wiped out, their mothers, their fathers, their siblings, and because they were so covered in blood and so messed up, they hid.
Yeah, that was a strategy. That was a strategy that many women seem to take. They would hide amongst the bodies because they didn't want to be discovered. There's at least one woman I can recall who hid with her infant baby on her back amongst the bodies, and for them it worked. I mean, it was just a coping mechanism to escape the notice of the Interhorme.
The one telling time was the Tutsi woman who was in the woods and she was escaping from a rape, and she ran into a young man who I think knew her.
Okay.
And he said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you today. I'm done killing for the day."
Yeah.
It's like a complete disconnect.
Yeah. Yeah. That was something. Quite a few of the women were either raped or encountered people they knew. And that was something, it's something really incomprehensible when you hear these stories that neighbors, friends they grew up with, people they went to school with would be doing this to them. And they would often express themselves, the perpetrators would say, you know, I've got to go and do my work today. I've got to do my work today, or I'm finished my work today. And their work was killing and pillaging and raping.
And encouraged by the radio station, by whom?
The radio station and newspapers certainly played a huge part in this. The radio station would broadcast where Tutsi families were hiding. If they observed Tutsis escaping, they would broadcast the exact location so the militia would be able to catch them. So the media, the ruling government at the time, they all played a role.
Ravaged women, ravaged men. The young man in the book, Faustin, the only man featured in the book, he was raped by a woman. Why?
It's hard to understand. I mean, I can hear, he told us what he thought, why she raped him, and she thought he was a Tutsi boy, and it was a way to degrade him. And he speculated that maybe she had never been with a man before and wanted to be with him, but he was only 13 years old at the time. So I think there were a mixture of reasons, but the fact that he was Tutsi played a large part. Yeah.
And it was like throwaway people, really, whether you were, no age limit, I assume. You could be 12 or 10 or 20.
Yeah.
And even the French soldiers, there was a compound. This shocked me.
Yeah.
French soldiers who came to rescue, supposedly, were also raping these women.
That was something that was, to me, it was really outrageous because they've never been held accountable. Mary Jeanne was one of the women we interviewed who this happened to repeatedly. She was raped repeatedly by the French soldiers, and she was taken to this safe zone. It's called the Zone Turquoise, and they raped her. They gang raped her, and it happened a number of times, and again she said, I can't recognize their faces. She was encouraged by other women in the camp to go and report it to the Red Cross. But she said, I don't know, maybe the Red Cross are the men who raped me because I can't distinguish the faces of the rapists, and to me they're all Bazungu, which means white people. And they will never be held accountable.
And it's still going on today, post-genocide?
Right.
Are these women still, some of these women, still victims?
I like to think of them as survivors.
Right.
Many of them are heads of households now, taking care of children. Many of them have adopted orphans, have been orphaned by the genocide. But we looked at some surveys of Rwanda in the 2007, I think, and gender-based violence and domestic violence is still happening. Some of the women we interviewed have experienced rape since the genocide. Gloriosa was one of those women. After the genocide, she was raped by one man. She bore a child of rape after that. So it hasn't disappeared, sexual violence in society, but I think the government is trying to do something about it.
And I'm sure